there. I'd like to show you a way of cleaning out your sewing machine if you're a little bit unsure of how to do that. So first of all, I'd like to say to you, turn your electric off. Make sure that your electric sewing machine is not plugged in, because if you're, if you touch anything, especially with the modern machines where they've got buttons that can move the machine without you touching the foot pedal, it's really important to make sure that you have the electric switched off on it. Okay, I've got a lamp directed at this, so I'm hoping that it shows up clearly, because I haven't got the light from the machine. Right, so electric's off. First thing I like to do is remove the foot, whatever's on there, put that to one side. Then I like to take the needle out, because then I'm not going to keep catching myself. Remember, when you take your needle out, remember which way the flat bit is. Now on these Genomes, the flat bit of the needle, the top, goes facing the back way. Okay, some sewing machines the flat bit is to the side and then goes up. So just remember which way you've taken it out, and don't be put off making notes. Make notes as you go along if you need to, and take photographs of each stage just to sort of give you that added confidence. Okay, so put your needle to one side next to the foot. Then I'm going to take the part of the machine that holds onto the foot. Now I have loosened these screws before I started demonstrating, so take that off, put it to one side safely so that you're not going to lose it. Always handy to have a little saucer or a tray or something to hold all the bits in. I'm going to put this screw back in there. I haven't removed the screw for the needle either. That way you're not going to get confused, because you've got two screws holding the plate down. Some machines don't. On my other Genome machine, it's a lever at the side that pushes this plate up, so I don't have to unscrew it. But most machines have got a couple of little screws that hold the plate down. Okay, so I've put that screw back in there. The screw for the needle is still in there, so I haven't got to worry about them. I like to just take the lid off the part where the bobbin goes in. I'm just going to unscrew. Now I'm using a screwdriver that actually comes with the machine. They're a little bit fiddly. Now I've got lots of screwdrivers, because I take screwdrivers if I see them lying around, or what's in crackers at Christmas. They're quite handy, because they're little screwdrivers that actually are very, very handy for stuff. Okay, so put that at the side safely, and again remove this. Take a photograph, make a note of what you're taking, what you're removing, and where it's from. Okay, but you've also got your instruction book. Your instruction book is brilliant. Okay, so we lift that up, it will just come off. You can look underneath, see if there's any fluff in it, and there is. So we just clean that off using the brushes. Now the brushes that you get with your sewing machine will be like this, but again, be creative. I pinch the brushes from my husband's razors, anything like this, even a toothbrush, but these brushes get into all the nooks and crannies. So if ever you see anything like this, grab it. Right, so this is the case that holds your bobbin. Your bobbin sits in that. That would just pop out. Okay, remember how you took it out. Okay, because it's just sitting in there. Have a look at it, take a photograph of it, and just pop it out like that. Put it to one side. We will clean that before it goes in. There's a fair bit of fluff in here. Okay, tweezers are brilliant for this sort of job. Get your brushes, whatever you've got to clean it with. Try to avoid blowing the fluff, blowing into the machine to get rid of the fluff, because when you blow into your machine, you're putting moisture in there. Now I've done that for many years, so don't sort of panic if you do that. I've only heard this sort of in the last sort of 5 or 10 years. Don't blow the fluff away into your machine because you're going to blow moisture into it. But I'm going to tell you, because somebody told me, but if you can avoid it, do so. You can get little fitments that go onto your hoover for cleaning out your sewing machine. So, and then clean it as much as you can with your brush, you know. Don't worry too much, just sort of clean it as much as you can, and that'll do the job. Okay, so that's all nice and clean. Oh, found a little bit of thread there, came out the top. So I'm going to use my long brush there. I won't bother with the tweezers on this instant, because if I start doing that, I've got to move the machine, and I don't think the light will be very good for you. Now that looks pretty good actually, so I'm happy with that. And then what we'll do is we'll put all the bits back. Make sure you clean out your bobbin case all the way round, give it a good old brush, and then pop it back in. Oh, this machine will think it's its birthday. This isn't something I'm very good at actually. I'm quite naughty at how often I clean my machine out, but then I always think it's actually more satisfying. But you will notice as well, if your stitches, if your sewing hasn't been brilliant, you might notice that it's sewing a lot better. Okay, so we're all done there. This is a good chance actually to change your needle as well. If you think you've had the needle on for quite some time, which I would, because I don't change my needle very often, this is a good chance to, or a good opportunity to actually put a new needle in. Okay, so put those screws back in. Okay, like so. Tighten them up. It's all a little bit fiddly because you've got little screws in little sort of tight areas, but all doable, all doable. Take your time, don't rush it. So put that back on there, screw it up nice and tight. Okay, now I'm going to put my shank back on, and it's important to remember that when you put your needle and this part back on, make sure you tighten screws up, because the vibrations of the sewing machine when it's going can actually loosen some of these screws. So make sure it's nice and tight. You can use the screwdriver that came with your machine, or this one actually came with another machine, and I've got an even different one for my other sort of semi-industrial Janome. So I'm going to put that back on top. I can put my foot back on. I'm going to put my needle back in. Now I know that the flat bit of this goes to the back, so I'm going to put that in there, tighten it with my fingers. Now it's in, going to tighten it up there, and there you have it. Lovely, nice, clean machine. I hope that's helped you out and given you some confidence to do that. If you've got a front loader, I haven't got a machine to show the clips that clip over, but it's sort of the same process. So take your plate off, clean all the top, take the front off your bobbin here and clean it, good old brush all the way around there, take photos, make notes or even little diagrams. Have your instruction book open, because your instruction book will have all the diagrams and everything in there as well. So I hope that's helped you. Yeah, please don't hesitate to ask questions.